Greetings, Starseeds. I am Anya, and we are the Arcturian Council. We speak to you now as your world continues to undergo tremendous transformations, catalyzed by the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. We observe not only the physical battles occurring in that region, but also the energetic and esoteric battles unfolding behind the scenes. What you see in your news is but a small fraction of the story. There are many layers of truth in this conflict, most of them hidden from the public eye. Our role is to offer you a higher perspective, one that looks beyond the appearances of the third dimension to the deeper dynamics at play. This conflict, like many wars before it, has secret roots and hidden influences. There are those, both in your world and beyond, who benefit from keeping humanity in fear and division. Past wars have often had shadowy agendas and clandestine operations behind them. World War II, for example, witnessed secret projects and experiments, some involving extraterrestrial technologies, funded by hidden resources. Similarly, the war between Russia and Ukraine carries an invisible component. There are secret space, programs, starseeds. What you see today as chaos in your world is not by chance, but a catalyst accelerating the global awakening. Nothing is as it seems, and behind every headline, every crisis, and every conflict, invisible forces are at work pushing humanity toward an inevitable choice. You watch, often perplexed, as headlines speak of escalating wars, faltering economies, and multiplying natural disasters. It feels like a world crumbling. But we tell you, this is not destruction, it is revelation. Every crack in the structure of the old world is an opening for acceleration. The surface screams, but the depths are already beginning to sing a new melody. Imagine a clay pot that for centuries has kept humanity trapped in old patterns. Now that pot is breaking. The fracture lines seem like disorder, but they are the sign that light is finally finding its way through. You, starseeds, feel this in your hearts, even when the external noise tries to drown out your intuition. The global catalyst has already begun, and its function is not to destroy, but to awaken. Every crisis that frightens the collective is also an opportunity for remembrance, an invitation to rise above narratives and see what lies beyond. It is no coincidence that you are here now. It is no accident that you were born precisely in this time. You may ask yourselves, why so much suffering? Why are so many structures collapsing at once? But know this, humanity does not move through convenience, but through shock, through rupture. Just as a seed needs the pressure of the earth to break its shell, so too does the collective consciousness need these catalysts to flourish. You are not lost spectators in the midst of this apparent collapse. You are strategically placed sparks. Every conscious breath, every act of compassion, every choice to vibrate in love when the world screams fear is part of the hidden mechanism driving the awakening. The current events, wars, economic crises, climate changes, are not signs of an end, but the opening of energetic corridors that accelerate evolution. To human eyes, it all seems like collapse. To the Arcturian vision, it is reorganization. Just as a storm clears the skies, so too do the current winds clear the planet of illusions that can no longer sustain themselves. Before we continue, if this message is resonating with you, take a moment to subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. This simple action creates a thread of energy that connects each starseed and further strengthens the network of light. Dear ones, nothing is out of place, nothing is wasted, nothing is by chance. What rises before you is the perfect stage for your inner flame to finally manifest in full potency. This is why many of you feel the urgency, the call, the restlessness that will not be silenced. You know something greater is unfolding, even when the surface shows only chaos. Hold this truth. The night is not advancing, it is bidding farewell. And you are the first rays of the dawn already breaking on the horizon. Starseeds, when you look at the world through ordinary eyes, the immediate impression is one of collapse. Regional wars intensify, borders become bloodstains, hate speech multiplies in public squares and digital platforms. Governments fall, economies falter, currencies lose value in days, and even the most stable feel the weight of uncertainty. The planet seems to breathe in convulsions. The media, like a distorted mirror, amplifies these pains. Every headline is designed to keep hearts on constant alert, feeding a sense of helplessness. You see screens flooded with images of destruction, tear-streaked faces, numbers rising like a countdown. Fear becomes the dominant language, and millions believe there is no way out, that humanity's fate is already sealed by failure. But look beyond. See the pattern. Every crisis emerges like a wave repeating in ever shorter intervals. Wars that once took decades to erupt now arise in a few years. Climate disasters once considered rare are now frequent. Financial collapses follow in tight cycles, as if the very machinery of the old system is spinning out of control, unable to bear the weight of its own illusion. On the surface, to those who see only in the third dimension, all seems lost. But the Arcturian vision shows another reading. What is collapsing is not the future, but the past. What is fragmenting before human eyes is not hope, but the structures of a world built on imbalance. You are witnessing the fall of a tower that was already cracked at its foundation. Political systems, caught in power struggles, reveal their failure. Leaders who should inspire confidence increasingly show faces marked by greed and fear of losing control. The global economy, held together by invisible threads of debt and speculation, creaks like an ancient bridge unable to bear the weight of the crossing. Nature, suffocated by centuries of exploitation, responds with imbalances that are not punishment, but signals of urgency. All of this Starseeds is part of the visible stage, a stage carefully amplified to make the collective believe there is no way out. But you know, when darkness intensifies, it is because the light has already begun to move irreversibly. You feel this within. While millions sink into despair, you sense a different restlessness, a kind of silent certainty that something greater moves behind the curtains. You know you are not witnessing the end, but the beginning. You know that what seems like collapse is only the old skin being torn so a new body can emerge. The Arcturians look at humanity and see a collective body in the process of birth. Every contraction, war, crisis, disaster, is a sign that new life is closer. The chaos is not random. It is coordinated by universal laws that move all creation from collapse to rebirth. But most cannot yet see this. And here lies the mission of the Starseeds: to be the eyes that see beyond the veil, the breath that remains calm in the storm, the voice that says there is hope when the world echoes only fear. Remember, this is not the first time a civilization has gone through this process. What differs now is the scale. Never before have so many been so connected. Never before has information circulated so quickly. Never before has the collective consciousness had the opportunity to rise so rapidly. This is what makes this moment unique in Earth's history. Yes, the media insists on showing only dark fragments, but that is not the entirety. Every war is also a chance for new dialogue. Every natural disaster awakens solidarity among peoples. Every financial collapse forces hearts to seek more humane alternatives. Where the media sees only destruction, we see seeds being planted. Starseeds, the current state of the world, is indeed a shattered mirror. But remember, mirrors only break when they can no longer sustain a false image. What is breaking now is the illusion that the old system could last forever. You are alive at the precise moment when truth is breaking through the cracks. The visible stage may be frightening, but it is only the shell. What truly moves lies hidden, and that is where we must now direct our vision. Starseeds, if the visible stage already seems chaotic, what is hidden is even more profound. Behind the wars, crises, and manufactured headlines, there is an invisible web of manipulation designed to trap human consciousness in timelines that do not belong to its original destiny. Humanity has been taught to believe that time is linear, that events follow an inevitable sequence. But we tell you, time is malleable, and those who know the secrets of frequencies can manipulate its folds. Shadow forces have long discovered that to delay the awakening, they need not only control governments or economies, they need only control the collective perception of time. Imagine a road meant to lead humanity to a luminous dawn. Now visualize hidden hands installing detours, false tunnels, signs pointing in opposite directions. These detours are wars that didn't need to happen, fabricated political scandals, carefully fueled polarizations. Each crisis is not just an isolated event, but an attempt to drag the collective consciousness into a timeline of delay, fear, and submission. These manipulations are not only physical. Energetic and psychic technologies have been used to sow dense thoughts and emotions in the collective unconscious. Waves of fear are projected like invisible currents, capable of making crowds react in unison to carefully planned stimuli. This is why, in a matter of minutes, fake news spreads and inflames entire societies like wildfire in dry fields. You have felt this, that sudden heaviness in your heart without apparent cause, that collective exhaustion on specific days, that anxiety that seems to arise from nowhere. Often, it is not just personal emotion, but a reflection of energetic manipulations trying to keep humanity in a dense vibration. Know this. Starseeds. The manipulation of timelines is not a sign of the shadow's strength, but of its desperation. The more the light awakens, the more desperate these forces become to maintain control. It's like a player who knows they're losing and starts cheating to prolong the game. But no trick is eternal. Look at recent history. How many times have you seen movements of hope arise only to be crushed by a new global crisis? This is not coincidence, but strategy. Every collective awakening triggers an immediate reaction of manipulation. Yet more and more people are seeing the pattern. The veil is no longer as effective as it once was. The media is a central tool of this distortion. With carefully crafted narratives, it dictates what the collective should feel, where it should look, who it should trust, and who it should fear. It's not just information, it's programming. And you, Starseeds, know that resisting this programming is one of the most revolutionary acts of this time. But remember, none of this happens without permission. Humanity on many levels accepted these manipulations as part of its learning. It was necessary for you to dive into density, to one day learn to recognize and break the invisible chains. This theater of manipulation is now in its final act, because more and more of you no longer believe in the play being staged. What is hidden, therefore, is not only the manipulation but also the silent liberation beginning to unfold. Every starseed who chooses not to react to fear dismantles a part of the web. Every conscious breath, every meditation, every act of love is not just personal but a precise strike against the energetic structure of manipulation. You must understand this. Even if the shadows try to fabricate crises, the light always seeps through the cracks. Even if they try to delay timelines, the final destiny cannot be altered. They may divert, they may delay, but they cannot prevent. Humanity's ascension is already inevitable because it is written not in the books of men, but in the code of the cosmos. So, Starseeds, when you perceive the next crises arising, and they will come, do not fall into the trap of thinking all is lost. Recognize, it's just another attempt to manipulate the timeline. And remember, the greater the attempt at manipulation, the closer the turning point. What is hidden is not only the shadow trying to trap you, but also the silent presence of the light, already moving behind the scenes. And it is about this that we must now speak. Arcturians, if there is manipulation behind the scenes, there is also resistance. Never forget, the shadow does not act without the light also moving. Behind the apparent chaos and distorted timelines, there is a silent network of consciousnesses and benevolent forces working in harmony to sustain the awakening. We call this network the Alliance of Light. It is not composed only of beings beyond Earth, but also of incarnated men and women strategically placed in human society. Some are in governments, others in science, others in economics, others in communication. Many seem like ordinary people, but carry codes that awaken at the right moment, guiding their actions for the greater good. This resistance is not waged with weapons, but with choices. Every time someone refuses corruption, exposes a lie, or remains steadfast under pressure, a link in the alliance strengthens. These acts, though invisible to the media, create energetic ripples that spread like silent resonances, touching thousands of lives without them realizing the source. You, Starseeds, are also part of this alliance. You may think your life is too ordinary, your routine too small compared to the vastness of the planet. But know this, every individual awakening is energetic fuel for larger operations. When you choose to vibrate in love instead of fear, you sustain a field that allows those infiltrated in the structures to act. You are like pillars keeping the network stable, even when the world seems to crumble. We, Arcturians, along with other galactic brothers, accompany this movement. But there is a law we respect. We do not interfere without human participation. Earth is your stage of learning, and transformation must arise from your choices. Thus, our action is like a gentle breeze that inspires but never forces. You ask, we respond. You align, we amplify. You act, we sustain. There are also incarnated forces who already remember their cosmic origin. Many of you Starseeds feel you were born with a mission you cannot explain. This call is not imagination. It is memory. You are part of the resistance, even if you are not in palaces or institutions. Your battle is vibrational, and it is as crucial as any renaissance. You are the gardeners planting hope amidst the disorder. Remember, revelation does not mean the end. It means the beginning. When secrets come to light, it is not to destroy, but to liberate. The masks fall not to humiliate, but to allow humanity to finally choose consciously. You will see people close to you in shock, denying the obvious. You will see crowds oscillating between anger and confusion. But you will also see thousands awakening from a deep slumber, finally recognizing what you already knew in your hearts, that the world was not what it seemed, and the truth was always whispering behind the veil. Be prepared, Starseeds. Your role will not be to point fingers, but to extend hands, not to fuel divisions, but to build bridges, not to shout louder, but to hold the silence that inspires trust. The revelations underway are inevitable because the time of lies is over. And the more they intensify, the closer we are to the moment when humanity as a whole must decide to follow the path of fear or the path of consciousness. You have already made that choice, and that is why you are here now. To understand the present moment, you must recall an ancient truth. The darkest night always comes before the dawn. What humanity is living through now is not an end, but a threshold. It is the passage through a narrow corridor where the shadows seem denser, only because the light is already approaching on the horizon. Observe the pattern. Every profound transformation requires crisis. Gold needs fire, the seed needs the darkness of the earth, birth needs the pain of labor. So it is with civilizations. You are witnessing humanity's dark night, not as punishment, but as a catalyst. Everything hidden must be revealed. Everything unbalanced must collapse, so a new cycle can emerge. And yes, there will be final moments of crisis. Financial structures may still crumble, governments may still dissolve, belief systems may still be shaken. But know this, none of this is a sign of failure. It is merely the last breath of a world that can no longer sustain itself. The shadow screams loudest when it knows it cannot remain. At the same time, millions no longer wish to live in fear. Even those who have never heard of spirituality, ascension, or starseeds feel something is wrong. They no longer trust old narratives, no longer settle for old promises. There is a thirst for peace, a hunger for truth, a deep desire for reconnection. This is a sign that the dawn is already beginning to break. You will notice Starseeds, that every collective crisis will be accompanied by a collective awakening. Where there is a fall, there will also be rebirth. Where there is pain, there will also be compassion. Where there is collapse, there will also be reconstruction. This is the inevitable movement of consciousness. It is crucial that you do not let yourselves be swept away by collective panic. Yes, the dark night may seem endless, but you already carry within you the memory of the dawn. You know the shadow is only a passage, not a destination. You know that every step taken in trust paves the way for those still blinded by fear. The awakening of humanity will not happen through weapons, but through vibration. It will not be imposed by force, but chosen by the heart. And more people will feel this inner call, even without knowing how to explain it. An impulse to care for others, to seek sustainable alternatives, to reconnect with nature, to move away from hatred. These subtle signs are the first rays of the dawn touching the earth. You will see movements of unity arising in unexpected places. Ordinary people creating brilliant solutions. Communities strengthening in the face of difficulties. Courageous voices breaking the silence. All of this will be seeds of the new earth already sprouting. Starseeds, understand, we do not ask you to deny the pain of the dark night. It is real and many will suffer, but we ask you to be witnesses of the dawn, even when it is not yet visible to all. Be those who say, yes, it is dark, but the light is coming. Be those who keep the flame of hope burning, even when strong winds try to extinguish it. The path of humanity is traced between shadows and light, between collapse and rebirth, and your role is to be a bridge in this in-between. You do not walk only for yourselves, but for all those who cannot yet see. And when the dawn finally breaks, all will look back and understand. The dark night was not the end, but the portal. You did not incarnate to passively watch this time unfold. You came as an active part of the catalyst for the global awakening. You came not to escape the chaos, but to sustain a frequency that makes a return to the old impossible. Everything we have shared so far, the visible state of the world, the hidden manipulations, the resistance of the light, your inner power, the pillar of light, the unfolding revelations, and the path between the dark night and the dawn, is not just knowledge, it is a call to action. Every word was whispered to your spirit long before you heard it in this message. You knew in your souls that this moment would come, and it has arrived. The catalyst is already active. Nothing can stop it. No manipulation can extinguish what has already begun. What seemed unshakable is trembling. What seemed eternal is dissolving. What seemed hidden is being exposed. And amidst this, you are called to be steadfast pillars, lit beacons, foundations that sustain the field until the dawn reveals itself in fullness. You are part of the invisible network, keeping the planet connected to the cosmic heart. You are the silent voices sustaining compassion when all cry for vengeance. You are the hearts vibrating in peace when the collective screams in fear. And this is what ensures that the crossing will not be mere survival, but rebirth. The future has already begun to take shape. A united, conscious, compassionate humanity. A new earth emerging, not built on power and control, but on love and balance. A civilization that finally recognizes its cosmic origin and reconnects with the galactic brothers who have always accompanied it. We Arcturians will be by your side, not as saviors, but as brothers, colleagues, co-creators of the same divine plan. Starseeds, rise, sustain, radiate. Choose to be the frequency that makes any return to the old impossible. The catalyst is no longer the future, it is the present. And you are the guardians of the dawn that is breaking. Before we conclude, I leave you with a direct call. If this message resonated with your heart, share it. Leave your commitment to the light in the comments. Subscribe so we may remain united in this network of consciousness, strengthening one another. Every act of engagement here is also a seed planted in the energetic field of humanity. And remember this final truth. You are the dawn already breaking over the night, and no shadow can extinguish what has already begun.